Episode number 47. Are we ready? LinkedIn, here we are live. Just waiting for YouTube. And we are live in YouTube as well. How often do you curse the society? Curse your parents, curse your neighborhood, curse your relatives, curse at the horrible life that you've been given. Just because you want to do something and the world wants you to do something else. Welcome to episode number 47. The single biggest thing that helps us to break free from all of these clutches is what we are going to uncover in today's episode. And I'm not alone in today's episode. We have a very, very special guest. A guest who is here to help us break things down at a far deeper level. A guest who is back doing live, and what better way than doing things together. Shall we have a huge round of applause for Yogeswari? All right, a big warm welcome, Yogeshwari, for in Daily Live with Surya. Episode number 47. Here we are. Firstly, how are you feeling being here?
I think the best way to come back, especially if I have a break in terms of doing daily live, is to do live with you because your energy is contagious and I'm catching up on that. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited for today's conversation. It's going to be a blast.
Now, I know we had planned this conversation probably for our podcast. We have recorded this as well. It's going to go live in the upcoming week. But let me go on a rant for a couple of minutes. Now, I know you're also allowed to give us a rant of your own version. See, growing up, here's what we were told. Every single year, do well in your studies, your life will be made. Only then they tell the same thing to next year. Do well in class 10, your life will be made. I did well, got 86%, came in class 11 and 12. Do well in class 12, your life will be made. Become a doctor, your life will be made. Finish college, your life will be made. Get married, your life will be made. Give birth to children, your life will be made. And then the same people who told us your life will be made, they are miserable. My parents, I don't see them fully happy. My relatives, I don't see them fully happy. To some extent, where I feel like they themselves are not happy and they are plotting, oh, why will we just be the only unhappy ones? We will force you towards unhappiness so that you will join our gang. But we've been in this personal development space for quite a while. We've had certain role models and inspiration. We see the other end of the spectrum, where every single decision in life is calculated, is tailored, is not done through emotions, rather a proper calculated step. Now, that's my side of the game, Yogeshwari. What's your side of the rant? Let's hear it, and then we'll take the conversation forward.
Thankfully, growing up, my parents never told me that study, your life is sorted, go to school, your life is sorted, go to college, your life is sorted. Rather, they just said, they keep telling this one thing: get married, your life is sorted, give birth, your life is sorted. Now, they don't know that in order to give birth, you are bringing a new life into this world, and that new life demands a lot of attention, lot of investment. It's a long term investment with no returns. I read it somewhere and I love, I'm going to steal this line. You keep investing over and over and over again, expecting, I don't know, few parents expect maybe love, few parents expect protection at their old age, few parents expect their children to take care of them. There's no guaranteed return over there. And yet, you were forced to hold on to that hope, which doesn't make any sense to me, at least now. Maybe in the future I might change, but right now it doesn't make any sense to me. Then, when I look back and when I understand where it is all coming from, are my parents telling me because it is their perspective? Absolutely no. They were told when they were young. And the entire society keeps asking them, oh, you have a children. Where is the good news? What's the next step? Like, when are they getting married? When are they giving birth to children? Oh, they have a children. When are you putting your grandchildren to the school? When are they getting married? And it's a never ending vicious loop. Now, Surya, I wanted to ask you this. You and I, we've been through this, and I'm sure every single one of people watching here have been through this in some fashion or the other. Few chose to succumb, few chose to rebel, few chose to step out. Now we are choosing to understand where do we stand over there. Do we agree to those perspectives or do we have a different perspectives? Now, if we have a different perspectives, how are we articulating our thought process in a way that we are not against them, rather we are just telling them to agree to disagree? We have done this multiple times, and I want to ask you this. When was the first time that you went against a society rules that were set and you felt this is not for me? Where your parents were continuously forcing you, but you made your point clear. When was it?
It starts out with the whole aspect of actually, there are two very simple incidents. One is when I did not have any control, I felt. The second, when I decided to take control. So the first one was when I realized that I did not get into MBBS after my 12th. I did horrible performance in the All India pre-medical test. That time it got cancelled and it got revamped to a new exam called as NEET. The West Bengal entrance exam was not that good. So I said to myself, fine, I did not get uh, become a doctor. I'll not be able to become a doctor, but there are so many things in life. So I decided to take up botany honors so that I can study biology nicely and become a school teacher. And then maybe later become a YouTube teacher as well and turn out to be the next, maybe now it's physics wala, maybe I would have created a biology wala or whatever. But then botany, girls study botany, isn't it? You tell me how many girls are there in your batch? It's true, there were only 3 guys and 21 girls in my batch. Back then, I didn't have anything to do because the three most important things under that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, food, clothing, and shelter, these three things is something that parents are giving. And what is the one thing that they have through which they're able to give these three things, which is money. And guess what? Neither of these four subjects were taught anywhere throughout our school. How to purchase your clothes. Of course, we all have become fashionables. Every year we get new clothes and all. That was the only thing. And that also parents had their own choice. To this date, they have. But how do you find your house? How do you earn your food? And how do you earn the money to make all of it happen? School did not give us information. Parents did not give us information. Suddenly we are expected to figure it out. If you don't, then you have to listen to what we are telling you. If you don't listen, what will we say to the society? What will we say to all these people? Back then, I could not do it. It was 2014. I went to college. I persuaded them, no, you have to put me to college. But then when my mom told me, come on, just try it out once, no, I succumbed. But 5 years later, I listened to every single thing that they said. They put me to a college. I went to a college, cleared every single year without dropping a single subject, ended my dentistry with a first class, only to realize that this is not something that I can do for the rest of my life. Now imagine the parents who are supposed to support you, right? I can consider relatives, put them aside, society, put them aside. Parents, the people who have given birth to you, aren't they supposed to be the ones uh, who understand you the most? But no, what will we tell to the neighbor? Neighbors are asking every day, oh, your son is back to the house. When is he starting his clinic? How will we answer them? How will we answer them? If I knew the answer, don't you think I would have already created a clinic? And that's when I decided, no, it's enough is enough. Whatever money I had saved, I had earned through winning a couple of public speaking contests. I think we were in the same group. Just with that money itself, took off, just left, moved on, moved out, didn't stay in touch with them. It was too much for me to take that my home where I felt, home is supposed to be the safest place in the world for a child, isn't it? But then when your home itself turns little difficult to even breathe, every point of time, every action is scrutinized, every thought, every perspective is being challenged, just because I cannot take care of the four fundamentals, not my food, not my clothing, not my shelter, and I don't have the money to take care of all these three things, it becomes difficult. Now, when your emotions are at stake, your brain stops functioning, isn't it? All the logic, all the techniques and methods that we had learned over our Toastmasters and all, it all goes out of the window. At that point of time, you're numb. Either you're crying or you're angry. And we all know when these extreme emotions hit, we are not able to even comprehend what we are going through. Forget about what we want to tell to them. And that's what I would like to put the ball on your court right now, Yogeshwari. In these kind of difficult scenarios where we are facing an entire society, an entire civilization that has been conditioned, brainwashed, hypnotized, hallucinated, seduced, year after decades after decades after decades after decades, is facing you through your own parents. Relatives are real thieves. I keep talking about it. I'll not even consider the relatives here, but parents. How can we even get started with our communication from that time on? And no one better than you to help us with this, because you've done that for yourself. You've helped me do it as well. I've seen you work magic in these aspects. So over to you.
The first thing here I would like to decode is, both in your case, just now you shared that you accepted because you didn't have a choice when you just finished your school. And then 5 years down the line, after doing every single thing that they shared, they told you to do, you understood this is not for me and you cannot take it anymore. And that's when it turned into, just because you couldn't share with them, it turned into a rebellious nature. We start rebelling, which happened even with me. Just I tried to communicate to my parents, however I didn't have that skill, and I was not independent, I was dependent on them. So, and again, it's not just about being dependent, it's, we can be dependent and yet make them clear. However, the way we were brought up, the culture, it teaches us to obey, it teaches us to blindly accept. It teaches us not to ask questions. It teaches us not to raise voice. It teaches us not to counter the doctrines that were given. Now, as we were raised in that society for almost 20 plus years, all of a sudden, when we realize this is not what we want to do and this is not something we can withstand anymore, it turns into rebellious nature. Now, that exactly most of us would have done, and things would have gotten difficult after that because rifts starts happening. We choose not to talk to them, not to stay in touch with them. And then comes the next layer. The next layer is, why are we rebellious? First, and the major thing which I recently understood is because we are not clear. We are oscillating between the doctrines that were taught to us and our emotions and gut feelings. We are oscillating. We wanted to obey them, but inside something says this is not you. But when the inside voice speaks that this is not you, that's when the doctrines that were trusted comes and says, oh, seriously, do you think you are unique? Which means you are out of this world? Are we fools to create all of these things? And that puts us into self guilt loop. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm not able to make my parents happy. I'm not able to obey them. I can't show my face to them. Guilt loop that is created by our own subconscious nature because of the doctrines that were told right from the child. Now that guilt loop completely fogs the inner voice. The inner voice is not going away anywhere. You can try to suppress, you can try to destroy that inner voice, I can guarantee you it's not going you anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Either you are constantly suppressing that inner voice, leading to a more bigger. Oh, I think the current is gone. I have to increase my screen light. We can do this live, I think, for some time until the internet is there. After that, we'll go completely vanished. Okay. Uh, so before that, let me open the gate so that we can get some light.
All right. While I am setting up the light in my end, divine coincidence. Imagine, yeah, I just opened the window over here. Uh, how often does it happen that two people have a power cut all at the same time? Isn't that crazy? Okay. So, just one moment. Yeah. So we were while Yogeshwari was talking to us about this very important aspects. I also want to talk about the doctrines, the doctrine that she was talking about. In today's age, the way things have moved forward, the way internet has boomed, you have all the data, all the touch points, you have every single piece of information that you need, every single piece of information that you need to see what is the actual statistics and data. The enormous amount of alimonies that all these big movie stars and cricketers and all are paying. I mean, the information is out there for everyone. How the law is favoring the specific gender, or what are the impact that one proper gender is creating on the others. Freedom, fulfillment, peace, all these things are bigger than ever. And suddenly it's not that we want to suppress, even if we want to suppress those thoughts, just by asking questions, we don't necessarily get the answers. The only thing we get is, don't you think we have spent more amount of years on this planet Earth? While I get that, but you have spent the amount of years that you have spent on this planet Earth, multiply it by 10. That is the times of growth that the world has seen only in the last 2 years. Forget about the last decade. That's the growth that we have seen thanks to the internet. Now, I don't want to get into any of the debates and arguments, because that is where you see every conversation is right now naturally turning towards. Our objective for today's live, divine delay, the power is gone, doesn't really matter. We are still here. As long as the power is there, we'll continue the discussion, and then we'll probably carry forward it once the power returns or whenever. We'll figure that out. But our objective in this whole episode is how to, first of all, be very, very clear about what we want. Second is how to create that safe space for yourself, the boundaries and the safe space which Yogeshwari is always so good at creating. The third is how to tackle these conversations, the first line of conversation, which is our parents. Then comes the second line of conversations, which is our relatives. Then maybe friends and people. And then how do you find your own inner circle at the end? So I just, while Yogeshwari was away, while you were getting your light sorted, I just thought I will share these insights. Over to you.
Now, keeping all of these things in mind, first is having that clarity. Again, I just want to look back and insist on that point. If your gut says something, try to sit with yourself and ask certain questions like, why do I feel this way? What will happen if I follow this? What will happen if I not follow this? Who all will be against this? How can I validate this? What are the different references I can bring so that I can understand and help myself validate that some people have already done that, and this is what is the repercussion, this is what is the result. If I follow this is what will happen. Now, these are logics. Emotions has to be backed by logics. Your gut feeling will say something, but if you go and tell that to people who don't believe, who have no clue about it, you cannot validate your point. So sit down and ask yourself these questions and have a clarity about what do you want, why do you want, how are you going to execute that. Now, when you have that clarity, you can create a structure and a perspective around it backed by real data, reference, and people who have already executed that. So that when you are sitting with someone, when you are explaining this to someone, you don't have to go against them. Obviously, they have lived on this planet Earth longer than we have ever lived. So they would have their upper hand and advantage, saying that we have experience, we have this, we have that. Don't give us all these useless things and everything. However, they may have lived for many years, but they haven't seen every aspect of life. Everyone's life is different. Everyone, the path that they take is different. What we have right now is internet. We can refer to anyone's life anytime right now, especially if they are a public figure, and we can model and mimic them. So if we have references and if we talk with references, talk with clarity, talk with data, then first of all, we'll have the conviction that we are not doing something that is crazy. Even if it is, even if it looks crazy to other people, it is possible. And secondly, we will have a stronger ground. We can say that, yes, you have lived so many years on this planet Earth, but have you experienced this life? Have you been here? Did you do this? If all of these answers are no, I'm so sorry. I don't accept the fact that you can give me advice on this because you haven't done any of these things. Rather, I would pay someone who have lived the life to get their real experience. Now, this Surya and I, we've been following for quite a while that we don't take free advice. If I really need your advice, we'll be upfront and honest, and we have shared that even with our parents. That if I ever need your advice, I'll pay you for it. I'll sit down, you can coach me. I'll ask you. Why? Because at that time, I'll be receptive. I'll sit with the mindset to understand what you're trying to say and I'll try to implement. But if I'm not with that mindset and if I'm not paying you for that, and if you are coming and giving me free advice, I'm really sorry. This conversation ends here. I don't see the credibility. I don't see why are you even talking about this to me? And I don't see the need of it. Thank you so much. I don't take anything for free. Now, these are strong perspectives. I learned this from Surya. Now, these strong perspectives is what will give you to create your communicational foundation. For example, Surya keeps telling every now and then, I don't answer a emotional yes or no question. It's a big savior. Surya, I would like to give that opportunity to you, the stage to you. What brought you to this perspective that you don't answer an emotional yes or no question, especially if it's from a woman? Tell me.
The relationships that I have been a part of, it's so crazy. If I've been in situations where, oh, Surya, so you are not going to come and talk to my best friend, is it? So, which means you don't love me, is it? These were the kinds of questions I was charged with. And while I was trying to answer those questions, I realized it's a conversation which is soon turning out to be a losing battle. My mom also has the same habit. So you will not do dentistry, is it? Have you completely left dentistry, is it? I mean, why would I leave dentistry if I have the degree? Otherwise, I'll tear off the degree. It's an obvious. Now, if I engage in that conversation, I'm either, if I say yes, then a follow-up questions will come. Okay, why aren't you practicing it? What's the plan? What's the game plan? If I say no, then why did you waste our money? Why did you didn't tell us before? So I'm very, very politely, I put it across that no, I will not answer. You just ask me a yes or no question. I will not answer it. Now, While you were sharing this, Yogeshwari, I think very, very important couple of points. Yes, from my end, I'm very strong, straightforward, upfront, brutal, honest. To such an extent where 99% of all my relatives, I have blocked their numbers, deleted their numbers. They do not exist in my life. Yeah, of course, when we go for any of these social events and I meet them with all the same Suryadeep I was when I was 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old. I'm still the same Suryadeep. But now I create that boundary and I'm very open and upfront about it. Relatives didn't help me when I needed them the most, so I don't give a F about it. My brother on the other side is something that I learned from him. He's very cool, calm, composed, and relaxed. He doesn't really say anything. He just deals with it however he wants. He just talks. He replies one or two words, and that's it. He doesn't necessarily stay in touch, but he doesn't completely cut them off as well. That's when I learned the power of tonality. In a couple of days earlier, I think one of our relatives had told him, no, you should start a firm and everything. And his reply was, yes, yes, definitely. Yeah, I should start a firm. Correct. No, I mean, I'm speaking to someone with 30 plus years of experience, having a CA degree and creating a CA firm. Yeah, definitely. I should start the firm. He did it in such a serious, polite tone. The relative got completely massacred, and so is this. They felt really, really good, and that's when I learned. Oh yeah, you can actually do a touch of humor, do a touch of sarcasm to not really hurt the other person, but also say whatever it is that you want. But then I'm not able to do that. And that's why I consciously choose to just stay away from people. But then it also has its demarcations, it also has its disadvantages, right? When I'm in trouble, I don't know whom to reach out to. I feel isolated. I feel like I belong in a world where I don't have anyone. So, in these situations, what should I be doing?
So you were sharing about how you were straightforward and your brother has this polite, sarcastic tone. I have a different method to handle these things where when I'm asked a question which I myself not clear about, I'll be honest and I'll say that I am not clear about it. Hence, this topic, I cannot have a discussion right now. Now, this is honest. When someone is asking me a yes or no question, how can I answer when I don't have the answers of yes or no? When someone is telling me that, oh, when are you going to give birth? When are you going to get married? I don't know. And if I say I don't know, then they would start to advise, no, 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 you have to do this as soon as possible. You are getting old, you are a woman, you have to. And that's when I realized when there is a I don't know from my end, instead of telling the word I don't know, I would rephrase it saying that I don't have the right clarity right now. Hence, I would choose not to speak about it right now. Now, this puts two things. First of all, I'm confused. And second of all, I don't need your opinion. It can be brutal and rude, saying that I don't need your opinion, majorly because there are few people who look for opinions. I belong to a category where I look into myself. I ask myself first. So the other's opinion will not make any sense to me, will not help me in any way until and unless I come to a conclusion and then I keep myself open. Okay, now I need to seek for opinions. Until I come to that state, it's not helpful for me. So this is a third way of approaching this. However, let's just say we are in three different categories. One, upfront creating strong perspectives and principles for ourselves, like you, Surya, where you say, I don't answer yes or no questions. I don't speak in a high tonality. So I don't accept anyone speaking with me in a high tonality or a rude tonality. If I need advice, I'll pay for it. I don't take it free. I don't take any free advice. No, these are the strong perspectives which you come up with. And your brother, he comes up with, oh, yeah, 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 you have to do it. I have to do it because you have done that, right? So he's showing the mirror to them, which is another way of telling, please don't advise me. Now, I have my way of doing it. However, all of these three ways, if you understand, if you ask your brother, and if we ask each other, we have spoken about this multiple times. We couldn't do it until we had the clarity. And that's the foundation. You couldn't come up with all of these perspectives when you just finished your school because you yourself were confused. I couldn't tell them that I don't want to speak about this topic right now until I realized I had enough. Now I have to sit with myself and understand and break this through. So the first step is obviously clarity. The second step is writing it down or talking to someone whom you can share everything about what is it, how is it going to do, and what are your thought process around it. And then coming to a conclusion. This is what I'm going to do from now on. This is what I'm going to share from now on. Because if we don't decide that upfront, when someone throws a bomb at us and we are caught off guard, we'll not be able to respond properly. First of all, we'll go blank and then we'll mess up. And once the person goes away, they are very clear. All they want is to attack. They'll come, they'll attack, they'll do their job, they'll go off. Only when they are left, we'll be wondering, oh, I should have said that. I should have said this. Why didn't I do this? Why couldn't I do this? Now that loop keeps happening. Now, the very first thing, Surya and I think we discussed this also, Surya. It's not just about talking to the other person, it is also about building a habit. It's also about talking to your brain. If you don't have that conversation, if you don't practice it, you cannot do it when you are caught off guard. It can be a relative coming and thrashing you with questions. Or it can be you trying to wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock when the alarm rings. Alarm will ring one side of the brain. The angel will come and say, get up, get up. The devil will come and say, sleep, sleep. You are caught up in between that conversation. And if you listen to the angel, you're happy. You listen to the devil, you're doomed. The guilt loops keeps continuing. Now, how to really overcome that? First, to have clarity, then to talk that through with yourself. Do it with yourself, write it down, or do it with a friend who is in the same wavelength. Please don't talk to someone who doesn't understand all of these things. Please don't. They'll make things worse for you. Stay away from those people. Outrightly, I'm telling you, block them. And if you feel when you look around and if you feel you don't have anyone with whom you can have this conversation, please reach out to us. That's why we are doing this live. What do you think, Surya?
It's obviously a very important steps that you have mentioned. I think everything's like summarizing it perfectly. There's this when we look at major life decisions as in getting married, giving birth to children, any events that comes in where a multiple set of people are involved. We are in India and we know that when two people get married, it's usually not the people, rather the families that are involved. Now, in these extreme perspectives, or I'll take job also in it. You want to go to an office and go for a job. You want to move to a metropolitan city, go for a job. You want to stay in a remote place at your own comfort. Just do the bare minimum to earn the money. Everyone comes in and wants to give gyan. Everyone wants to attend those events so that they can go in Bengali. We have, I think I told you, right? There's this word called poroninda porochacha. They just love gossiping about others, talking negative about others, people behind their back. That's one of the classic traits as per which is stamped with Bengali people. Now, understanding the foundational principles of money, life, thoughts, all of these things, as you are reading, as you are learning, you obviously grow. And then suddenly you go back and you have to talk to people who have never read a single book, don't even know, haven't even reflected on it. You have done all the inner work. So the inner work tells you don't even engage in such conversations with such people. What I have consciously decided is I'm never ever attending any of these events of people or friends whom I don't resonate with at that foundational level. I will never even attend because it doesn't make any sense for me. And if I want to eat that food, I might as well go for a buffet in a barbecue nation or an absolute barbecue and eat over there nicely, enjoying the food and not drawing all those unnecessary attention. Now, in these situations, when these conversations comes up, you mentioned these three different forms of dealing with it. But is there any process? Is there any technique? Is there any method in which the conversation itself will not happen? We can immediately take control of the conversation and ensure that we nullify it right at the beginning, even before the emotions kick in. Is there anything that you have in mind on this? While you were sharing, these were the only thoughts that was going on in my mind, so I thought I'd ask.
The first thing is awareness. If we want to stop this conversation right at the beginning, we need to be aware and we need to be looking forward for all of those conversations. We need to reflect when it happened, how did it started. We need to have that conversation with us first. That's why it's the conversation starts within and then it's without, outside. So we need to recall and reflect on all the episodes that had already happened to us. We need to ask who are the people who initiated these kind of conversations, so that the next time when such thing can happen, we are equipped, we are aware. Oh, this is how they started, and this is how it can start. These are the multiple ways they bring the same topic. The first thing is to silently listen. Where are they taking the conversation ahead? Do not give any answers to them. The more we answer, the more we are fueling them. Rather, turn every answer into a question. Why do you say so? What makes you say that? Why do you think? Why did you get married? As you keep asking Surya to your relatives, oh, how long have you been married? How many children do you have? And do you think you are happy all the time? Are you sure? Can I ask your family? Can you tell me that you have never fought even once, never raised your voice against your spouse even once, never had the rift even once, never beaten your children even once? Just now you were telling me that happiness is all about this. Do you think you're happy? That's it. And walk away. Do all of these things in a low tone with a smile. That protects your energy, that protects your peace, and it removes you from the spotlight, puts them on the spotlight. After that conversation ends, I can guarantee that they'll start thinking about their life and they'll never dare to speak about this and advise on life to anyone after that. What I've understood is people who have really been happy, they don't go and keep advising others on that. People who have really made money, they don't keep and take a megaphone and keep blabbering about that. They're quiet. They're looking for more opportunities to be happy. They're looking for more opportunities to make money. Unless someone walks up to them and deliberately asks them, they never open their mouth. And that is the sign whom should you have this conversation with and whom should you not absolutely have this conversation with. This is my approach. Do you have any approach, Surya?
It makes a lot of sense because I think over a period of time, if you see, we have people like Ankita and Bharat, whom we can always look up to and talk to them about literally anything without any judgments. We know that we have a great, we'll get the great guidance that we need, unbiased and non-judgmental, fully. And now that we are recording all this publicly, I'm sure there are people who will agree, who will disagree. The ones who agree will stay in touch. The ones who agree will continue to follow. And we start building our own community who might turn out to be our family as well. Extended family, different walks of life. And that's all that we need, isn't it? Because until and unless we are going to keep our perspectives and our thoughts to ourselves, who is even going to get to know? Tell me that. Rather, when you choose to speak up, and now internet has given us the options to allow us endless possibilities to share whatever it is. Doesn't matter who's watching, who's not watching. If you do this enough, people will listen, because at the end of the day, your journey is getting documented. Right now, this is episode number 47. You know what we have been doing for the last 47 days. You know what we are building, what are we talking about, what are we creating, what are we working on. And if you're able to resonate, well, we have been getting such messages, both of us, that we have been following your work for quite a few days right now. We saw that episode. We saw this episode. It's just started to happen already. And when you find a good community and you really need help, you put out one message. That's when you see whether you will get the help that you deserve or not. If you've really done it with all your heart and soul, you will be shocked and surprised how beautiful this world is and how amazing people are there in this world. I don't know about you, but at least if we get a message from you that, no, I really need some help, I think if we are available, we're definitely going to speak to you and help you out. That's the kind of community that we are building. So when it comes to finally the Brules of the society, you can choose to succumb to it, you can choose to answer it. But based on what I observed in this conversation, thank you, Yogeswari, for this, is have a crystal clear idea about what is it that you want, why it is that you want. Speak the same with AI and take the help of AI to craft your messages so that you don't have to speak exactly that exact message directly relate to the person who is bothering you. Rather, you can craft the message based on their perspective and give it to them. Take the help of AI. In fact, one of the things that I will try from now on is, if anyone is bothering me, I will open ChatGPT in front of them and I'll say, hey, ChatGPT, this is the person who's telling me this is, I'm feeling irritated, frustrated, but these are my thoughts. Now, can you help me craft a beautiful answer in such a manner where I can give it to them? Turn on the voice feature, let AI speak on behalf of me. If we don't protect ourselves, no one is going to come and protect us. And the society rules are bound to change. We see what Jeff Bezos has done through Amazon. We've seen what Elon Musk is doing through Twitter and Tesla. We've seen how Mukesh Ambani is revolutionizing the entire telecom industry once and for all, because they did not listen to the society. But do they still face trolls? Do they still face opinions? Nothing changes. Same thing. Only great beings are being targeted. Accept it, create your own social circle, learn from it, grow. I hope this discussion has helped. Yogeshwari, anything that you would like to share, and then I would love for you to end today's episode, because it's so miraculous what we've just discovered. Over to you.
I just want to relate to our professional life as well. We have broadly touched upon our personal life, and I just want to briefly touch upon how it is impacting our professional life. Right from the childhood, as we started, we've been told what to do and we've been nodding yes to everything. We've never questioned anything. We have never given that opportunity to create and design something on our own, because everything is pre made and stuffed on us. Now, that has an impact in your work as well. If you are not able to lead, your childhood conditioning is the major problem. You don't have strong opinions, that's a major problem. You don't have perspectives, that's a major problem. Leaders, they have opinions, they have clarity, they have perspectives, and they know how to validate that. Now, if you are feeling like, why am I not getting selected? Why am I not getting promoted? Why no one is seeing me as a leader? Probably all of these conditionings are suppressing your talent. Let it not happen. Start speaking to yourself. Start asking yourself, are you speaking enough? Are you speaking where it is required? Or are you struggling to process and organize your thoughts and put it in front of people in a way that they will accept? I'm not asking you to blabber. I'm not asking you to constantly talk, never ending, and waste everyone's time. Please don't do that. Any thought that is well processed and organized can be shared under 30 seconds. Only and only give details if you are asked more to share. Now, that is leadership ability. When someone is sharing some perspectives, if you're not able to counter them with valid data, valid perspectives, and valid information, research, which means you are accepting everything that's been told, whether it's right or wrong, without doing your groundwork. You're not a leader. I want to be honest and brutal here. Now, if you want to change that for yourself, start to talk to yourself properly. Start to understand what are you, and then organize your thoughts, process it properly so that you can express that like a leader. And if you need any help in this, we are running a cohort. The December batch is successfully happening right now. We are so glad. You will get all the updates about that. We'll keep you posted. We'll share all the highlights. But January batch is closing on 15th. After 15th, we are not taking new seats, new people. So we are going to work only with 10 people. January batch is getting closed on 15th. We'll leave the link down. Join now. This is going to be a game changer for you. With that, until Surya and I, we meet you tomorrow in our respective lives. Take care. And I'm really thankful for the internet backup that we got. It's still running. So thank you so much. Wow. You go. Here you go. Bye bye.
Divine timing yet again. Power came back at the exact same time. Today, some magic is there, Yogeshwari. Thank you so much for episode number 47. Make sure that you share your notes as well. Whatever your thoughts are, whether you agree, disagree, put your thoughts down so that we can also adapt and learn from what you are experiencing. With that, see you tomorrow, episode number 48. We are slowly moving into half century. It's going to be crazy. See you there. Again, Yogeshwari, 8 o'clock, 8.